What's up, everyone? How are you doing today? And welcome back to my channel. Now, today we're going to be doing a review for the new Marvel movie, Marvel's Eternals, or Eternals. No, yeah, Eternals. And this is a very interesting film. I mean, obviously, you probably know, if you don't know, it's had the weirdest review scores I've ever seen an MCU movie have, which is odd because I looked at the trailer, I looked at the film. After watching the film especially, I'm a bit confused why, but we'll talk about that in a bit. But just to let you know, this video or review, it's going to be unedited. I'm going to start doing reviews unedited. I think I said this like ages ago and I say it a lot, but I end up editing a video anyway. But now I think I'm just going to leave it unedited. So if I do anything like weird, just let me know. But I don't know. But it's very, to go back to Eternals, right? To go back to Eternals. It's been really weird how that whole thing went out. Like, it's really, really odd that critics has been crazy harsh in this, and I don't understand why, especially after watching the movie, because in my opinion, Eternals is actually a good movie. It has problems, it's not the best, but it's a good movie, I think, because when I went to the cinema, I was like expecting this movie to be trash, and it wasn't. So I'm really happy that at least it's a good movie. But let's actually talk about Eternals, and let me tell you why I think it's a good movie, even though there are problems. Don't get it twisted. There are problems. Like I understand why like the review scores are lower than usual. I don't understand why they're like this low. Like, if you get what I'm saying. Like, if I would understand like a 60% type review score, this I don't know. But anyway, so what Marvel's Eternals is Marvel characters that, let's be real, most of us don't know. And so from what I understand, well, from how they explain it in the comics and all, they're meant to be, I think they're meant to be, what I understood, correct me if I'm wrong, I thought they're meant to be from Celestials, made them by putting some essence into them or something like that, or essence into humans, and they either turn into an Eternal or a Deviant. But then in this film, it's a bit different how they explain it. So in this film, the Eternals come from, like the Celestials send the Eternals, and they just go to the other another planet, kill off deviants. That's your job, and that's a bit different. I mean, I might be wrong. I may have read or watched the wrong thing, but that's what the movie is. And what this one is, it feels like it's one of those movies where you legit see gods coming down to Earth and wondering like, what is human life? Like, basically seeing it from their perspective. And I do like movies and thoughts like that, because you see all these overpowered characters, but you do want to wonder, like, what makes you tick? And you always want to wonder, can you be human? And that's what this film tries to address, in my opinion, at times. It's meant to be, it's a very human story with immortal gods, basically. That's basically what the film is. And in terms of that, I do like that concept. I would say that the concept of this movie is actually pretty incredible. Like, I really, really like just delving into people, just looking at humans from their lens. Because humans, like, let's be real, we're not great. We're actually kind of bad. So it's cool seeing like that from their perspective. Now, coming to that point, even though I like it, one of the problems in the film is that I feel like they try to go into it sometimes, and then sometimes they just hold back. And or they'll just crack a joke, or they'll just like, it just wouldn't settle, or it'll just stay for so long. I feel like one of the biggest problems with this movie is like the way it's, I would say, structured. It's the structure. I wouldn't say it's the pacing, because it's not like, well, it is the pacing, but I wouldn't say it's solely the pacing. It's more or less the actual structure of the way the film is. And like for example, there's this one scene, right, which was so heartbreaking, because you just legit see the evil nature of humans. And then, without spoiling it, there's mild spoilers here, but the Eternal goes, oh, no humans, no, I hate you all. And the next thing you know, the next scene he's fighting with humans. I was like, I don't know, man, like, stuff like that, it's just weird. I'm like, why? But that's basically some of my complaints in terms of like the structure. I think that's what a lot of the problem is in terms of the film. It actually is the structure, that and the CGI, but we'll get to that later. Well, CGI in certain aspects, because in all honesty, to get back to the positives, right? The film is beautiful. The film is beautiful in terms of like the natural landscapes, and like when you see like, well, Chloe Zhao did say that they've tried to shoot as much on location, and you can really tell, because it makes the film like shine. It's actually one of the most beautiful Marvel movies in that aspect. But going back to the negative, when you see these CGI monsters, the deviants are legit pure CGI, like pure CGI. I don't know if maybe, well, there probably was mocap, but they look like pure CGI. And boy, man, I'm starting to get tired of CGI fluidity goops, like those type of monsters. I'm really tired. I mean, Shang-Chi, when I watched Shang-Chi and I was at the end and I was like, what is this? I was like, I'm really tired of this, bro. This one, oh man, because like the deviants, man, I'll be real, the deviants weren't good. The deviants were not good. And part of it is because of that CGI. That CGI is very like noticeable. So that's what kind of like, it kind of hurts when you're seeing some beautiful landscapes. So that's that. But going back to the positive again, I'm going to be jumping around a lot. But going back to positive again, the film is beautiful and the powers look beautiful as well. Like, I'll give credit. I love the aesthetic of not just the Eternals, but the powers themselves. And I love the aesthetics of the like when they use it. I love it how it looks and how beautiful and colorful it is and how the fights look. Even though it can get a little well, actually, I like the fact it got a little anime, but sometimes it gets a little like I don't know how to explain it. A little bit too unrealistic, even though they're gods, right? It's just a tiny bit, but I did enjoy it and I did love it, so I can't really complain too much. It's more of a nitpick to me. Speaking of that, let's actually talk about the Eternals, because I think I love the whole cast, in all honesty. Like, the whole cast are banging. But certain characters, I'll admit, got more shine than I thought they would, and certain characters didn't, which is kind of sucks, because I feel like some characters did need a little bit more time. But in terms of like the character themselves, I do like the characters, I do like the actors, the way they portray the characters. I think they did a great job. I'd say Cersei really holds the film down. You can really tell her like trying to, not naive, but trying to like sort out this situation and just worrying about her family and all that. You can really tell with her. Icarus, how like proud he is about being an Eternal and how he's trying to fight for his family as well. And even Sprite, how she's Sprite, I was cool with Sprite until some bits in the end. Actually, I'll actually say that actually some characters, yeah, I liked all the characters, yeah, but some of their plot points, some of the plot points got like incredible towards the end, but some of the plot points got like a little odd towards the end. I'll say Sprite and Thena are definitely the odd ones for me. More like, Sprite was understandable. I just didn't like, how do I explain it? Sprite was understandable, and the way it, like, everything happened for her made sense. It's just that I felt like the way she acted didn't really, like, it didn't really, like, not meet, but it didn't make sense compared to how she is. I don't know how to explain that without spoilers, but that's basically how I can say that in a roundabout way. And with Thena, yeah, she has a problem with her, and the problem, they make it a joke a lot. And I don't know if that's funny. Like, after a while, I was just feeling bad. I was like, guys, I don't think we're meant to laugh at that. Like, we should be helping her. You get what I'm saying? So those were my only two like problems with the characters. Other than that, all of them were banging. I'll say my favorite one was Gilgamesh and Drake. Makari was a close like second. It was Gilgamesh, then Drake, just neck and neck at first, but then Makari second, and then I just love all of them, to be honest with you. So I'm actually excited to see more of them in the future. I actually do feel like they do have a place in this MCU universe, and that's why I was really happy with them. So I can't really complain too much about characters, even with my nitpicks. But other than that, really, the plot is good. It makes sense. But yet again, man, like, I don't want to be rude here, but Marvel, your final acts, man, I don't know what's been going on lately since like Endgame. Final acts have just not been it. Like, well, actually, that's a lie. Spider-Man's final act was okay, but I don't know why. Like, Shang-Chi, Black Widow, and all the final acts just kind of fall flat. I mean, they'll have some hype moments in it. Don't get it twisted. They will have, like, I remember in Shang-Chi, the fight was mad. There was nothing in Black Widow, but in this one, yeah, the music got like crazy good, like towards the end, like especially in the climatic battle, and some of the fights got mad. But in terms of the finale, it is underwhelming, and it's just a Marvel thing now, and that's the thing that's basically what most of the review is. Most of like my reviews, most of my thoughts on this review it's more of MCU's formula that I feel like is the problem with this film than Chloe Zhao and the Eternals. Does that make sense? It feels like Chloe Zhao had a plot and it made perfect sense, and it was quite an inventive, creative, like out there plot, but I feel like the MCU had to confide it a little bit. That's why we still get some random jokes that just didn't need to be there. Like, some were funny, yeah. Don't get it twisted. I love MCU jokes, but it's not always, joke, take another joke. Nah. I can take some seriousness sometimes. And I felt like with this movie, we're really starting to see, like, this is Shang-Chi and Black Widow. We're really starting to see that MCU formula start to, like, wane. Like, everybody's like, woo, this MCU formula, man. Like, it's really like, we're squeezing the last life of it. Like, we're really, really seeing it. And this is the same MCU, in my opinion, it's the same MCU formula they've had since the first Avengers. It's legit the same. So, in my opinion, I feel like Marvel, you actually need to kind of let it go. Like, this was the most different MCU movie, yeah. And with Eternals, I thought this would be the movie that would finally put Marvel on the level of like a Dark Knight and a Spider-Verse. And even the Batman looks like it's going to be on that level. But we get Eternals and I'm like, man, I have a feeling someone MCU'd this up, man. Because that's just how it feels like. And I'm not trying to be rude or anything, because the MCU is my favorite franchise. Like, I love it. I only criticize it because I want it to be better. Like, I love the MCU. It is my favorite franchise. But we gotta start changing it up, man. Like, we got to. And Eternals was so close. It was so close. It just MCU'd it up. That's all I could say. It's not in a... It sounds like I'm being rude here. People, like... A lot of people still love the MCU formula. That's why I still go to these movies, right? I do like the MCU formula. It's just that, man, after seeing like stuff like Dune, you do want something a little different sometimes. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. But I think that's why a lot of people are actually kind of complaining about the movie. Because when I hear people's, criticisms of Eternals, they mainly talk about the MCU stuff of it. It's the MCU formula. It's too MCU. Like, why are you putting this beautiful, rich human godlike story about them trying to figure out if humans are even worth saving? Like, that's a cool story. It's a cool concept, and that's what sold me on this movie. That's why even in the beginning I was like, damn, like, they're really going in on this. But then when they start throwing MCU stuff, you start to remember that you're in a Marvel movie, and it just takes away from it. And that's kind of it. It's the same kind of complaint I had with Black Widow, in the fact that Black Widow should have been a spy movie, but no, it was just a weird action MCU, not as good Winter Soldier. So that's my question to Marvel, is what is your next step? Because now people have clocked, like, people are clocked, like, your formulas, everyone knows your formula, right? People are now criticizing it, like, you're using the same formula. So I'm really curious to see post Spider-Man what you're gonna do, because like, after like Spider-Man, yeah, actually, it's gonna be a long-winded tangent, but basically with MCU, in my opinion, I predict that for the next 10 years, it's going to be all great for MCU, because they've got so much hype they could just drop and we're all going to watch these movies. They're going to be fine, right? Even with the same formula, because they still got like Fantastic Four, X-Men, Deadpool, Blade, etc. But my question is, after 10 years, especially when stuff like the Batman is coming out next year, what is like, will people start to get tired of the MCU? That is my question. I don't know. I mean, I don't want it to. I want the MCU to last forever, but let's be real. People clock onto things very quickly. So that's it pretty much. I mean, that's pretty much the question, because I feel like that's the problem with the Eternals. That is legit it. So anyway, after that whole tangent, I'm just going to plug this review in. Last thing. The music, fire, when I heard it. When I heard it, it was fire. When you don't hear it that much. When you hear it, fire. When it's like towards the end, I remember I was watching the credits, I was hearing the music, I was like, damn, this is fire. Why didn't I hear this mainly in the movie? And then even like at the final scene, there was one song they played, top tier music. I was like, damn. I'm like, why didn't we hear this earlier? You get what I'm saying? I'm even shocked that critics actually heard that music and still gave the movie a bad score. I don't go. I mean, me personally, I still don't think it's worth. Like, I don't think it's worth giving this review less than flipping Black Widow and Iron Man 2 and Incredible Hulk and Thor the Dark World. Bro, I really can't believe critics actually gave Black Widow a 70-something and this, like, what, 49? Nah. That can't run. But anyway, Eternals is a good movie. It's a good movie. You should watch it, and I think you'll have a good time, especially in IMAX. It's beautiful in IMAX. Oh, the Celestials in IMAX? Bruh. Dude, the Celestials in IMAX. Woo! God, that is worth it. I'll admit, that is worth the ticket. But anyway, I'm going to give Eternals a 7 out of 10. I think you should watch it. It has good characters, good fights, an interesting story, a very thought-provoking story. It's just that it is a bit MCU, so if you're going to be annoyed by jokes like that, I don't know. But if you're cool with the MCU formula and you want that kind of like human-y type story about gods coming in to try and figure out if humanity is worth it, then check it out. But other than that, I feel like Chloe Zhao's like the next Eternals. I think she's going to kill it. I think she's gonna kill it because maybe they'll learn from their mistakes from this one and just make the second one just way better. I have faith for the future of Eternals. So that's pretty much what I think the movie is really good at. The future of Eternals is bright, but yeah, we'll just have to wait and see for that. But anyway, that's my review for Eternals. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Are you going to see it? Let me know in the comment section. I'm open to discussion. Thank you very much for watching. Again, please like this video, subscribe to my channel for more on pop culture and entertainment. Have a great day, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. All right.